We're live.
All right. Good evening. This is the meeting of the Village Environmental Policy Board, the EPB, for Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. We're conducting this meeting by Zoom. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please consider emailing them to the address at the top. It's environment@villageofnewpaltz.org, and that'll get to us. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. We have quorum for this evening, and we'll proceed. We don't have any public hearings planned for this evening. Administrative actions. The agenda was sent out to everyone. I don't know that I had any responses back. Are there any questions or concerns about the agenda, or I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda for this evening?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded for the agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, so the approval or the agenda is in place. Approval of minutes from October, actually, is what it should say. Shortly after the meeting, Ariana sent those out. I didn't have any changes. I think they look good. Are there any, if there's not any wholesale or large issues with the minutes that were put out for the October meeting, I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes for the October meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the October minutes are approved. No claims that I'm aware of. Any announcements by board members or anyone else? I will back up a minute. We do have the opportunity to speak at these public hearings or public meetings tonight. If there's anyone that wants to say anything, they can, or like I said, the email address is there. Any announcements? All right, so the next item is a planning board update. Don's been a great liaison for us, and Rachel is now the newest member of the planning board, so we have plenty of perspective and insight from the planning board, I'm sure. Don, you want to start?
Yeah, not much on the docket that's really of a scale that would interest us. Floyd Niffen wants to build two single house ranches on Mill Rock Road, where I live. The planning board attorneys advise them on what sort of seeker designation they should use. So we really have no, that's one of the things we do, advise the planning board on seeker. Their attorneys have already made that decision, so it's kind of out of our hands. Nothing too much going on as far as big projects. At some point, we're going to be looking at what's going to happen with the site of the old Stewarts, and that will be certainly of interest to the Environmental Policy Board, how they go about that and what their commitments are. But that's not on the table yet. Roddy Serta is planning on building at the site of his current repair shop next to Village Pizza. That's just a pre-application, so that's not official yet. So I'll keep you posted as things move along.
Anything with the new Stewart's traffic light issue?
They are waiting. The actual poles that hold the lights are on back order. So they're waiting on those poles to arrive. They're hoping it will. They don't think it'll be before winter. So I think we're probably looking at a springtime. But that's all up to the street light pole manufacturers' ability to deliver. So up in the air.
And then the Lalo group, anything from them?
Nothing.
In the past month?
Nothing.
Any questions for Don? All right.
Well,
next.
I don't know. I'm getting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Rachel,
Okay,
you're
well,
a member
sorry.
of the planning board. Is there anything you would want to add or talk about?
Well, I as far as the the houses on Mill Rock, it's I think of definite interest because it borders on the Millbrook Preserve, and it's this is steep slopes down to a stream, and it's a wooded area, and I think that just as a matter of like my opinion, I think that it makes a huge difference whether or not the people who buy those houses just build the house and have a path to the house, or whether they decide, as some people do in that area, to just completely chemlawn the whole thing, cut all the trees down, and put in a grass monoculture.
Let me
And
jump
I
in,
just
Rachel.
think that,
These particular
yes.
sites are on Millbrook, not far from Main Street. They're just a couple houses down from the main course. So there are existing houses there, and he's looking to put 2 new houses there. So it's not.
No, there's more. Oh, we're talking about 2 different things.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
because he just submitted. Were you at the last meeting?
No, it wasn't. There was nothing on the agenda about anything else from Floyd Niffen.
Oh yeah, no. There's it's like an extension of Mill Rock Road going into the preserve,
Okay.
and they're large lots. Yeah, I don't think we're talking about the same thing.
No, we're not. And I just read the minutes before, about a half hour ago, the last planning board meeting.
I don't think it's on Mill Rock Road. I think it's on Millbrook Road.
Oh yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Rachel, because I was looking at that as well. But yeah.
It's just it's between between the stream and Lent.
Yeah.
And you can actually access that property from Lent Drive. There's like it's like right, it's these, it's the giant 5-acre lots. I think there's 4 of them, right? I don't remember. I don't have it in front of me. But it's that area right there. So I think Don and I are talking about 2 different things.
Oh, we are. I'm just,
And you don't see what I'm talking about in it. Let me see if I have it in my, I have it on my computer. It's in Google Drive. We got sent that from in our email. I'll see if I
I'm
can
looking
get
at the minutes right now. Yeah, Monday, November 2nd. There's no mention of the project you're talking about. I'm looking at the minutes.
Okay.
It
So
was
I'm not disputing you,
preliminary submission. It wasn't. It was like a pre-application review, is what it was.
Right.
Okay. Well, I will check in with Lana and get some information on that and be ready to address that next time we get together. But
yeah, no, I'll send it to you. Let me look at I get so much email. It's hard for me to locate anything. But I'll just go on with the meeting. I'll find it and I'll send it. Okay.
Great. Sounds good.
All right. Any other items of the village planning board interest? All right. The next item is awareness collaboration of what the town's environmental conservation board is doing, and that's a role I serve. I serve on both the village and town boards, and with the main purpose of cross communicating between the 2. So I've got the meeting minutes from the town's environmental conservation board meeting from October 6th, which is the last meeting. We have our meeting is coming up tomorrow, our next meeting for that. And the biggest item was consideration of appealing the Trans-Hudson decision in regards to the vegetated buffer that goes there. And we spent a lot of time talking through that, and as a board, we voted to submit an appeal of it. And if not for a canceled meeting last night would have been Ingrid, who's the chair of the town's environmental conservation board, opportunity to state the environmental conservation board's case. And basically it's saying that Trans-Hudson wants to use the 30-foot buffer, put the Empire State Trail right in the middle of it, rather than see it as a buffer that needs to be protected in its entirety, and the Empire State Trail can be put outside of it. The Conservation Board is very supportive of the Empire State trail going through the property, but they want to have the buffer preserved. So that was the biggest thing. We had a discussion of that. We voted to indeed do the appeal. The next item is the Sporting Clays wetland mitigation. Sporting Clays is a site in the town. They had were cited for filling or doing things in the wetland with roads and proposed roads that wasn't permitted by the town's wetland law. And for a long time, I think more than a year, has been going through a process with the planning board to gain approval, find out what kind of mitigation steps and what kind of things that Sporting Clays would need to do to get back in good shape. The news was in the last month they had withdrawn their application, so now it's kind of in a limbo. So without an application, the question is what's next. So the Conservation Board is officially urged the wetland inspector, the building inspector, and the town board to look into what the next steps would be, so that just withdrawing their application isn't the last step. I gave a village update from our last meeting to them. Climate Smart Communities was an update. There's a 100-year floodway study that's going on right now as part of a grant that Climate Smart is a part of. As things may get more wet over the next several years, generations, because of climate changes, this floodway report is studying what the impacts would be in this area, specifically with higher water levels. Community preservation update. Ingrid gave an update at the time, which is somewhat outdated now, but things were going well. The campaign was moving along. Metzger and others were helping out. Phone banks were set up, and Facebook opportunities to get involved with that. Critical environmental areas is a designation that the Conservation Board has been working on for a while. We are hopeful that there's some kind of resolution before the end of this year, but it's been somewhat quiet for a while. As a board, we're working on a wetlands law brochure and looking to maybe re-examine the tree cutting, the tree law for trees within 50 feet of the center line or the right-of-way for that. And that was it. So any questions about what's going on with the town's Environmental Conservation Board? Okay. So next item is the EPB reports from officers, committees, others. Plastic bags. I will note that it appears more enforcement is going on now. Here in the last couple of weeks, that things have started to warm back up. I think the DEC has lifted their moratorium or whatever, so they're starting to make citations. They're starting to enforce that state level law. It's been quite some time since we've talked about it at the local level, but now that that's starting to go, it may start continuing again. Residential refuse. I've had some communications with the trash collection contractor, single contract, single provider for that. It remains a good idea from an environmental perspective, and we do have some interest later on down the agenda for a environmental intern with the village, and it'd be my goal to have another Riley, look into that issue for some reporting or documenting data collection for that. Bee City. Rachel, Riley, anyone want to talk about what's going on with Bee City?
Is Riley there?
Yeah, I can speak to that. So not a huge update, but we are having our design session this Saturday at noon. So actually, if we could get a head count of who from the environmental board will be joining that would be kind of helpful.
I'll do it.
I won't be able to attend, but I'm going to see if Riley would be interested in going as part of, we'll say, onboarding.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay.
So it's at noon, correct?
It is at noon. And there's also a Zoom that I think we're going to be setting up too. If anyone wants to join the Zoom, that also is an option.
Here, I'll put that in the chat right now. I'm trying to make a tiny link for the Facebook event. I'll share that momentarily so it could be in the minutes too.
So I know I keep asking this, but I don't think I ever got an answer whether it was yes or no for cardboard.
Oh, well, okay, so we're going to talk about it at the design session, but if you could keep a stash of cardboard, that would be helpful because there's a good possibility we will, but it is something we'll talk about this Saturday.
Oh, great. I just got my daughter a bed, so, so I'm going to have a nice big box, a couple of big boxes. Oh, yeah, sure. It turns up. I will start saving it under the stairs in Village Hall or up the stairs or...
Yeah, there's some already upstairs, so we can definitely add to that pile, no problem. No, nobody's
started
using
it
upstairs, so it does not matter. Like, Village Hall is definitely still, for the most part, closed to the public. So,
yeah, so I guess we just have to wait till that design session to really, get the gears moving on this project. But that's good that it's coming up soon.
Yeah, I think you should have good weather for it still too. So that combines both categories, Bee City and the Village Hall Ecoscaping Project. Anything else on either of those two topics? Any questions for Riley or Rachel?
I just want to reiterate that there's other locations that could also use some biodiversity around if anyone else is interested.
I mean, personally, I was thinking we should just get this first location figured out. But I have been looking at Sojourner Truth Park possibly, or Hasbrook Park near where the skate park will be built, because I've heard that there's going to be I've heard that I have a lot of friends that are really wanting that skate park to be built, and there's always going to be a spot for landscaping right next to there to sort of make it blend in with the rest of the scenery, because I'm all big about community spaces that are also environmentally friendly too.
Sounds good.
That's great. Riley, I think you're doing a great job with that. Plenty of communication, plenty of initiative, so keep up the good work. Okay, composting in the village. Annabelle, any updates you want to talk through with us about the composting?
We haven't really had any new updates with composting recently. So there's nothing new. Fiona and I have been talking a little bit about what to do in the future, but we haven't had anything recently. So, yeah.
Any questions for Annabelle? All right, the next item is the source of raw water supply study. It's a grant-funded project. I know I've been involved in a couple of meetings. We've been talking about the background and the history and the facilities that the village has for drinking water. The next meeting, Ariana, is to what, Thursday, right?
Thursday, yep.
Okay, so Thursday at 10, is that right, or what?
Yeah, Thursday at 10 a.m. And I know at the last EPB meeting, Fiona had mentioned that she basically can never make that time. And there were a couple other people that I think would like to switch it up anyway. So we are going to talk on Thursday about making, just alternating maybe. Some meetings will be during the day, whereas others will be more of an evening thing. But yeah, we're looking at, SWOT, our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats is the acronym that we're going to be working on this Thursday in particular. So it's pretty exciting that we're this pilot project study. They chose New Paltz, so it's cool.
Yeah, I agree. I am planning to attend, but I'll be traveling, so it'll be just audio. But
totally fine.
I look forward to the next meeting.
Yeah, the same for me. I will also be traveling, so I will just be audio too.
All good. I'm excited that both of you will still be able to join us.
Yeah.
I'll do my best to be there, but sometimes it's unpredictable when I can grab a quick lunch break.
It's understandable. Things are always in flux these days.
But I really appreciate looking for the alternating times. Thank you for that.
Oh, good. Okay, that's good feedback. It's important to know. So maybe you can help us figure out what would be like good for you as well, because we obviously want the most participation as possible. So
Awesome.
Okay. Anything else on EPB reports? Anything we've left out? Anything members want to talk about? Things they're working on? Okay. The next item is old business. So a review and update of the idling laws. I am aware that there's some initial work going on with that. I think there'll be a reach out from the town side to the village, I think sometime soon when they have some language put together. Alex, are you aware of anything that the state bill that you talked about, is that moved or is it moving? Anything happened to it?
No, they don't really, not a lot gets done in October.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know Pete Harcum, that was one of his things. He's been pushing, and it looks just like the Westchester one. So
yeah, I think generally the approach will be to use that language at the state level and just mimic it at the local level and maybe adjust some of the times and
exactly.
Okay, subject tasks. Brought these up a couple of meetings so far. It's also something that I'm hopeful that Riley Poison, for lack of a better pronunciation, will be able to address unless someone else wants to jump on board. The two things are a website update. I'm sure we have plenty of content and things that we could add or be looking at the website to be a better tool for the community. And then also actually budget spending. Ariana's gotten some really good information for us put together. We should be able to act on that soon. Any other old business items?
Well, I want to apologize because I remember I did say I was going to look at the website and I didn't get to it. And I am going to do that now.
Great.
And I sent Don and Ariana, I sent you the thing I was talking about.
Oh, okay, cool. Rachel, if you want, when we meet on Friday to go over some Zoom stuff, maybe we can also look at the website together.
Yes, that would be great.
Cool. Let's do that.
So I promise.
It'll be on our agenda.
Cool.
Excellent. Okay. While we're on that topic, is there anything that we as board members want to see on there that maybe hasn't been on there in the past? I don't have any, but is there any ideas or things that people specifically want to make sure gets added to the list?
I'd like to ban leaf blowers.
Oh, you are not alone. I hear this all over the place. The Plains Road community email list has been talking about this, and there have been like multiple people who have talked to me about this. Tim is not in favor of banning leaf blowers outright. I know that because I brought it up to him, but I think it would be worthwhile talking to the people in the community that are in favor of this. And even if we can't outright ban them, maybe we could be like, these are yard work hours that you're allowed to do this in, or something like that, to like limit it. But coming up with something. I think that there's a lot of people in the community who would totally be on board with this idea.
And and I think we make a recommendation to the village board and the mayor. They don't have to accept it, but if this body is against leaf blowers, I think it's within our purview to express that. It's not it doesn't depend on whether it would be well received or not, but it's what we feel, and so I'm down with talking about it.
Maybe we could offer to buy them back. You know how they buy back people's guns? And to less violent towards the environment and repurpose the leaf blowers somehow, turn them into heaters or something.
Oh my God, Rachel, it's hilarious. I
Thank
love
you.
it.
We'll swap your leaf blower for 3 rakes.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So
if anyone were to find, such a law,
Yes.
that would be helpful.
Yes.
what is
talked about this, I found a few examples. I'll refine
Cool.
them.
Yeah, I think Nyack has a good example. They're one of the communities that has done that.
Well, does the village or the town have an existing noise ordinance?
Yes.
Is that on the books already? Because
Yeah.
if it is, it can be approached that way right now. Often the decibel level of leaf blowers, that's why that's why many of us are annoyed by it, is because they are so loud. But
Yes.
being loud means that they're exceeding the noise ordinance, and that's actionable right now.
So that's a great idea, but it really is more so like a time frame, so it's more like when people can make their leaf blower noise.
Well, no, you know what though? The electric ones, if they had a silencer on them, aren't as loud as the gas powered ones. But you can just ban the gas, because the gas ones are the ones that make all the pollution as well. Also, I guess blowing the leaves is obnoxious in and of itself, but I guess like as far as the noise reduction, that could be done without banning them outright, I guess.
It's also healthier for the users.
Yeah,
they're not breathing in that like the fumes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like a workers' rights thing.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely. It's terrible. Even if they wear masks, they're still breathing in all this dust.
Well, you want to all do our homework and ask for it to be a discussion item on the next meeting?
Yeah.
Good idea. And then, by the next meeting, hopefully it'll still be before we have a foot of snow on the ground. So we
Well, then we can ban snowblowers.
Well, it probably
snowblowers. Yeah.
Oh no, snowblowers aren't as bad.
I think that would be a harder sell in the community.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Snowblowers,
All right. So,
well, the snow muffles.
Lisa.
well, I'm not even sure where that. So, what did we call that part of new business? Was that where did we get off? All right. So, I'm going to reestablish where we're at. I'm going to say we're at new business. Membership of the board is a topic I put up there because at the time we weren't sure about what Rachel's status is. We also have, I think, 1 or 2 terms coming up the end of this year. So I don't know if there's anything we want to talk about, in regards to that.
Well, I'll formally resign when it's expedient for the organization for me to do so. Like if you have people, if you're short on people, then I won't turn it in right away. But if you have enough people and you're all like, need the spot in order to formally put someone in it, then I'll definitely resign. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I think that's helpful. I think that's a helpful position for that. To allow us to get someone in place before you would consider vacating the position, because as we understand, you are able to hold both of the positions right now without conflict.
Mm-hmm. I believe that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that wouldn't allow you to stay on both boards if you wanted to.
Yeah, I remember someone looked for that one time and couldn't find anything in the code that said that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do we want to talk about this further, or we'll just see how things go till next month? All right. Okay, so environmental intern candidate. So this is not like the research intern, which is Annabelle's status right now and a couple others. The village has a standing notice on the SUNY listservs or job postings, internship postings, and from time to time we'll get interest from a SUNY student or two that wants to be involved in some type of internship. I have conducted those, I'd say a handful, maybe 4 or 5. Some of them turned into employees and moved on to other things, but it's been pretty beneficial. We assign them tasks, have them working on stuff, mostly independent study kind of thing. So Riley here had reached out to us. She's got a pretty impressive resume and an interest in this topic, in these topics. It's not anything this board would necessarily vote on, but it's something that this board could send tasks and assignments her way. So if she does decide to start, be over the winter or spring semester, something like that as a beginning, we could consider things that she could do for the board that could be helpful. And I'm sure there's a number of things. So keep it in mind. We'll see if she continues to be interested, and if she is, that would start up either after the semester ends, sometime over winter break, or maybe first of spring semester. Okay, so meeting schedule for 2021. Ariana, could you kind of reset where we're at as to when we can't meet?
Totally. So I don't know how we didn't realize this, because we were meeting when we were meeting in person at the same time as the Zoning Board of Appeals, and we just were using the other room. But because the ZBA has not had any meetings throughout the pandemic, we've never actually had a conflict on Zoom with them. And that's why this came up tonight, is because they finally had an application and they're meeting at 7 p.m. And we do not have a Zoom account that allows for multiple meetings at once, which I could encourage the village to invest in that if, this was coming up more often, but this is literally the only time that this has really happened. So I think if we can find another day and time to meet, that would be good. Simply because the ZBA has, they have public hearings. Alana also does, she also does the planning board meetings. And so her time is limited. And she also was just hired to be the town's planning and zoning secretary. So we're doing like a little shared service thing with her. So she has, her meetings have to be more set. I have a lot more flexibility with my schedule, except for Wednesdays, obviously, because the village board meets. So if we can come up with another day and time that could work for this group, that would be awesome. I am looking at the calendar, and it looks like yesterday, basically the second Monday of the month is a day that could work. Well,
let me first. So with the ZBA or BZA, is there a conflict for December?
Well,
do we know if they have a meeting or not?
We won't know unless they have an application. We might know tonight if they close something out, or if they don't. If whatever they're meeting on tonight continues, then they'll definitely have a December meeting. But yeah, I mean, I'm okay with playing it by ear if you want to keep it the same for the 8th of December, and then we could also just bump it up to 6 o'clock right now and keep it on the 8th, and just our meetings have been about an hour long the last, I don't know, X number of meetings.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what I'm saying. So I think one of the things we could offer is, okay, December 8th, we'd keep it, but we'd move it to 6 o'clock. And then for all of 2021, what do we want to do? That's, I want to see, or I would offer that as a direction for us to talk through. Mondays in a non-COVID world aren't good for me. I'm on Long Island. It's a long day. It's rare that I'm back at a normal time, if not for COVID, because I'm around here. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays are all good. The second week, first week, second week, fourth week are good. Third week, I usually have conflicts that third week.
Tuesday or Thursdays work for me.
Do you guys want to say the first Tuesday of the month rather than the second Tuesday?
So the first and third Tuesdays are planning board meetings.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And we go to the fourth Tuesday. That's kind of a change in approach for us.
We could maybe do Thursdays. The first Thursday of the month is I'm looking at the calendar, and that seems to be a day that's free.
So 6:30 on.
What was that, Rachel?
I think it was me. I think sometimes I'll have to miss it, but you guys rock. You're good.
You would be in a joint meeting every other month. You're totally right. Yeah.
On the
one's
first
on?
Thursday.
Yeah, because the town board meets the first and third Thursdays. And so that doesn't conflict with our Zoom meetings, but it means that every other month, the village and town board have a joint meeting on the first Thursday.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, the other option is that we could meet a little bit earlier. I don't know if that like works for people. You know, on the same day of the month, we could meet at like 5, and then we would have a full hour and a half, or we'd have a full 2 hours, and we could meet at 5:30 if we have a full hour and a half before the ZBA would take over.
Right. I like the idea of 5:30. 5 would be a little aggressive.
Yeah. I meant 5:30, and then I
if we want
realized
to
my
say,
math was wrong.
you know, 5:30 to 7, and that keeps us, keeps us disciplined. All right. So what if I offer the second Tuesday of the month at 5:30 to 7 for 2021? Okay, so I'm offering that as a motion. Could I have a second if interested?
I'll second it.
All right, so it's moved and seconded to have our 2021 meetings on the second Tuesday of the month at 5:30 start time. Any discussion? Anybody have problems with that? Okay, they'll continue as Zoom, I would assume, until we're able to meet in person again. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that's 3 votes. Okay. That's it for meeting schedule for 2021. Other items of interest. I snuck this in halfway through the meeting because I remembered someone asked me about it when we talked about the village hall. So paint swap, is that going on right now? Is that are people able to utilize that or?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The paint swap is still happening. The days and times changed. I believe it's on Tuesdays now. I put it on the website, so I can double check.
Okay.
I saw it happening today. It was out front.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, second Tuesday of every month from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So yeah, I'm glad you saw it today, Rachel.
So that's Tuesdays 4 to 6 for drop off only, right? They could pick
That's
up
for
anytime?
drop off only. Pickup is still absolutely anytime. Yeah, when I say Village Hall is closed, it's not like law. So people can definitely still go inside and pick up paint.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and the same binder with the waivers is there, and it's all pretty obvious. So yeah, it's really great. Wendy's just been totally making it happen.
Okay, that's great. I think she's doing a great job, and I think maybe we can have Riley help with some letters to the editor or notices or some kind of information getting out about it.
That would be great. Yeah.
Okay. Any other items of interest to the Environmental Policy Board?
Yeah, let me just circle back to membership if I could. Ariana, would you mind sending us an email with our terms and who's going to expire next, who's going to expire in a year, and who's going to expire in 2 years?
Sure. Yeah, not a problem at all. Greg is actually up next month. And I think everybody else is continuing is through next year or the year after at least.
Okay.
But
Cool.
I'll send you guys an email for sure, no problem.
And I would just give a heads up to Annabelle if we have and any of our interns, whenever we have a vacancy on the board, first people we turn to happen to be our so be ready for that question. That's all I got.
Okay. Anything else? Alex, anything going on interesting statewide? Any outlook, insight, predictions?
Everything is really stressful statewide right now.
All right. So the Community Preservation Act passage here in New Paltz, I thought was pretty neat to see. Are there any other communities that are taking advantage of it or planning to take advantage of it or give it a try that you're aware of?
So we are the first in Ulster County, which is awesome. and there was the one that already did in orange. Nothing
Red.
else so far, but yeah, that was really an awesome victory. You know, I feel like I made some really good friends with all the super volunteers. We have such cool people in our community. I love New Paltz.
Yeah, that was it was neat to see too. And so, are there any next steps that you're aware of?
I am not sure, to be honest.
I don't know either. I'm sure it's something we'll talk about at the town conservation board meeting, and so I can give an update next time with the village. But
yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you. But yeah, Kara, like really like, oh, so awesome. Everybody was awesome.
okay, all right. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I didn't see who did. Someone move? I heard the second.
Oh, sorry. So moved.
Okay, it's been moved. Can I have a second? All right, down a second. All right, so the November 10th, 2020 meeting of the Village Environmental Policy Board now coming to a close. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you all. Again, note the email address. Any comments, questions, please send us the email. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye, thanks.